All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
BoJack Horseman, Season 5, Episode 2.
All right.
That was a start.
Last episode gave us a premiere of the best season of television you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
I'm concerned. My seat belt is buckled. My ass is clenched. And Peanut Butter and Diane are divorced.
Yeah, that just happened.
Yeah. They
Signed and
socked that marriage right in the schnoz.
showed it what for.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mr. Peanut Butter is crying on the side like, hey, BoJack. Hey, friend. We're friends, right? BoJack?
Handshake,
Hi.
awkward hug. See ya.
So, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
10 Reasons to Go to Vietnam, a Girl Cruise personal travel guide.
Oh my gosh.
Number
Yes,
1,
let's
to
go.
reconnect with your ancestral roots. As a born and raised American, you've never felt much connection to your Vietnamese heritage. And your parents offered little to fill in the blanks.
We're from Boston, dummy. Why do you think I talk in this accurate regional dialect?
I know
my
that,
God.
but I mean, what is our background? I just thought maybe you could give me a little more cultural context, what with you being a tenured professor of Vietnamese history at Tufts and all.
Christ, Dee, that's my job. I wouldn't ask you to have a period on your day off.
What?
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my
Wild!
God.
Excuse me. Hi. What's going on here?
Oh, isn't it exciting? Some American filmmakers are shooting a movie starring Laura Linney. It's about a recently divorced woman who comes to Vietnam to find herself.
Oh my God.
You put on the clothing you bought and it feels like a costume. This is not your home. You're a tourist here.
Sure.
Reason number 2, you can be a tourist here. Hey, Mr. Peanut Butter.
Are you okay? You left my party without saying goodbye. And I was like,
Oh.
uh-oh, what happened to Diane?
Well,
Then I got distracted because Todd got his tongue stuck to the ice sculpture. By the time we got him off, his tongue was completely numb. I'm sorry, this is turning into a Todd story. The point is, are you okay?
oh, yeah, sorry. I just had a plane to catch, so I'm in Vietnam now. I'll be back soon.
Well, you have to let me fetch you from the airport.
Oh, that's okay. You don't want to deal with the traffic.
You know I love traffic. I get to catch up on all those hilarious license plates I haven't read yet.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I'm glad I'm not still paying your phone bill because this call must be costing a fortune. Unless you remember to call ahead for the international plan.
Of course I remembered to do
Yeah.
that, but I have to hang up immediately now because our conversation has reached a natural conclusion. Goodbye. Number 3, because you're single now, and you can do whatever you want. How are you doing with those divorce papers? It's been several weeks now.
Oh,
Ooh!
Have you dined with us before? Can I get you started with drinks?
Just water would be great.
Oh my god, I love water.
Me too! I'm 70% water!
Okay.
Me too! What are the
the
odds?
dog on
2
dog
waters.
energy.
Thank you. So,
Yep.
Mr. Peanut Butter, the divorce papers.
I'll have the trough of everything.
Okay, and
Whoa, somebody's not hungry at all.
No, I am. I'm very hungry.
and I'll have the Cobb salad. Why don't you have a housewarming party? Yeah. Now that you don't have a mean wife who hates parties, you can finally live it up.
Okay, but only if you come.
What?
Promise.
I'll come if you have those divorce papers.
Me again. What did you order? I didn't write it down.
The trough! He wants the trough! I am from America.
No, me, America. You, Vietnam.
No, me, America.
Me, America.
Me, America too. Me am also America. Number 4.
Oh my God, that was so
That was
funny.
incredible.
We all work so hard to cultivate our homes, but what are they other than a place to repeat negative patterns?
There. Last one.
And
Wow.
the first one.
Oh, did you need help deciding whether or not this place is a shithole? Because help is on the way. It's a shithole.
I like it.
Wow.
It's what I can afford, and it makes me feel good to do it on my own.
Well, when this place makes you too sad, you can always come over. You'll have to say, I'm a sad, sad girl with a terrible, dirty apartment, but I'll let you crash.
It's my home, and I am proud of it. There.
Yeesh.
I love it. This is my life now.
I love the way the story's being told non-linearly to kind of communicate how sporadic she feels internally, you know?
Yeah.
Number 6, to turn your work into a workation.
Oh God.
In this new era of connectivity, working outside of the traditional workspace can ignite creativity. Ew. I'm a sad, sad girl with a terrible, dirty apartment.
Come on in.
There we go.
I can do whatever I want. I can pick up in the middle of the night and go to Disney World or Vietnam.
Do you mean literally Vietnam? Or like when Old Navy told me they were looking for a fresher face for their performance fleece commercials and they ended up with Sherman Hemsley?
What?
What?
That was my Vietnam.
He like shook it off.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that this is the first time we're both been single at the same time?
Yeah. Why is it weird? I mean, I know why I think it's weird, but you say first thing.
Just, come on, you know why. It's just weird. Like, we could totally make out right now. Not that I would. Oh my god, it's so gross. You're gross.
You're being mean.
I'm allowed to be mean. I'm getting a divorce.
Okay,
No.
you get 2 more divorce means, but then that's it. I'm cutting you off.
Maybe I should go.
You sure you don't want to spend the night in the guest room?
No, because then that means I'm staying here, and I cannot stay here again.
Can I ask you
That pose.
Yeah. That was incredible.
All the faces.
Reason number 7 to go to Vietnam. Your therapist tells you to.
Oh.
Have you thought about going away for a little bit?
I don't need to go away. I'm good. I just feel like I see myself very clearly already. And what I see is that I'm happy with my decision.
I love the therapist chair posture.
Yeah.
Who has a lot of adopted kids.
Is she an actress?
As a matter of fact, no. She thinks of herself as a director.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about me in your sessions with other clients?
Oh, honey, no.
Hi. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Quab and chai.
All right.
Wow.
Reason number 8.
Wow,
To
Diane.
discover a new you.
I kind of love it.
And the smells, sounds, and tastes transport you to another reality. He tells you stories he thinks you can't understand about his life in America. And it's freeing to be this person he thinks you are, this person who isn't bound by her own history or sadness. This is a person who could do whatever she wants.
Is Halong Bay. It's where Laura Linney comes to find herself. I'll bet you've never been on a movie set before, huh? Well, I'm a grip. The executive grip. I basically run things here. It's so cool to see my job through your eyes.
Holy shit, a falling Klieg light!
Sorry! Can you speak English?
No? I just heard someone say that sentence in an American movie once. Also, yes, I speak English.
What?
I'm from LA.
So what? You were just pretending this whole time? I was actually feeling something special here.
Really? It didn't strike you as weird that you talked for 2 hours straight and I said nothing? Or is that what felt special?
I'm not the bad guy here.
Hey, what are you doing here?
We're going to the party, remember? You told me to come with.
Yeah.
Why do you look so different?
Do you like it? It's a whole new, fun me. My therapist thought I needed to get out of my routine. I mean, I thought it too. It was mostly me who thought it.
Oh,
but my
right.
therapist
Yes.
also-
Yes.
You actually look amazing.
Well, don't try to take advantage just because I'm all vulnerable right now.
Jesus,
what?
lady. I'm just trying to
Backed
give you a
up, like-
compliment.
Relax, I was joking.
Were you?
Yeah.
Let's just go to the party.
Okay, you know what? Forget this.
I'm sorry, BoJack.
Hey, your haircut looks great. Mr. Peanut Butter's gonna love it.
Yeah.
Woodpecker.
Yeah.
Jenga.
This is. Hey! Oh my goch! All these people.
Yeah.
You did to your neck.
That was-
I didn't.
You
Oh my
see that
God.
ice sculpture? I am definitely not going to lick it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Anyway, I can't stay long because I'm supposed to go to the roller rink later. Hopefully there won't be any mob bosses there.
Right.
What
Right.
am I saying?
Yes.
That's so random.
Whose memories are these? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you are.
Diane! Nice haircut.
Oh, this? No, I didn't.
Yeah. It really brings out the neck of your
Neck.
Okay, well, that's.
Hey, don't go anywhere, okay? I want to talk to you.
No. How is
Erica! What are you doing here with a child-sized coffin?
Reason number 10 to go to Vietnam. Because you've got to leave to come back home.
I respect that.
True. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're Laura Linney.
People say that to me all the time, and it's true.
Nice.
I am Laura Linney.
I'm so sorry to bother you, but I have to ask, what happens at the end? You get divorced, you go to Vietnam to find yourself, then what? How does it all work out?
Well, I do find myself. My clone. And she shacked up with my ex. I fly into a jealous rage and gut him with a machete. A lot of it is just setting up the franchise. You know how it is.
Oh.
It's an action movie?
And a
It's
love
Orphan
story.
Black.
Me and my
Yeah,
clone
yeah.
have a steamy makeout scene, which is hot, but also very progressive. Excuse me, can I get some more pretzels? I'm Laura Linney.
But none of those reasons are why you
Wow.
actually went to Vietnam.
Right.
Diane, wait. I actually have something to tell you. I don't know the best way to say this, but I'm seeing someone, romantically, who isn't you. That was probably not the best way to say it.
Stuart!
Right.
There's
And
a
then let's
fire
catch back up to
extinguisher
the
under
beginning.
my desk. Oh,
And she
that's
runs
what's
out of
on
the
fire?
party,
In that case.
crying.
Real reason you go to Vietnam
Oh, wow.
is because you accidentally see your soon-to-be ex-husband kiss someone else. But then he puts his hand on the small of her back exactly the way he used to do to you. It means, I've got you. And you realize he will never do that to you again. After your heart was so broken that you thought it could never get any more broken. You thought it was safe, but it still somehow finds a new way to break.
Nice.
Because even though you're the one who asked for this, now that you've got it, you are completely adrift. I'm really happy for you, Mr. Peanut Butter.
Oh, cool. The ending in Thai, yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
Wow.
they did the BoJack alone, but instead it's the Diane alone.
Uh-huh.
Oh. At least they knew
boy.
that the last time they did this, it was like one of the best episodes of the series. So they're like, hey, we'll do that shit again.
Yep.
All right, we're coming in hot after that one. We had
man.
absolute despair, pain,
yeah.
anguish, and torture this episode.
Yep.
Having a character spiral so fast and for very like understandable reasons.
Yep.
But still seeing them spiral and hit all the walls and the corners on the way down the stairs. Like,
Yeah, that's yeah. That was absolutely beautiful. I don't think I've ever had it communicated to me in such like nuance, the way in which like a breakup, or in this case a divorce, would fuck you up. Like that's damn.
Because like, you know, I think when you get to be around the age of like, you know, the average of our ages,
Yeah.
you know, everyone's gone through at least one breakup. And depending on the level of intimacy, connection, time spent, all the number of factors, the breakup can hit, you know, less or more.
Yep.
But when you have one of those breakups, when you have one of those that hits you and it sends you spiraling,
Yep.
there's nothing more hollowing than that. Like, I feel like there's plenty of things that can come really close, but love is such a wonderfully positive and encouraging and like, I don't know, it just builds you up, and to have something disassemble that so methodically,
It's like
to
a
have
Jenga
breakup like
tower.
this. It's a full collapse,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still made of pieces. You still have all those pieces. They didn't disappear, but they're all over the place. It's gonna take a while to start building the tower again, and
Like-
that's okay. But it fucking sucks.
And I love that this is something where it's BoJack was not the focus of this episode because of course it's Diane, but
Yeah.
this is another showcasing of how, as a result of BoJack getting better, less of the show might be focused on him.
Sure.
Because he's doing a lot better. And so, but that doesn't mean that we can't still have all of the awesome stuff that has made us love this show.
Right.
Because there's other characters that have their own struggles and issues and things like that. And then like the fact that BoJack was able to be the stable one for Diane. I love that so much.
That's amazing.
Because, you know, so often it's the other way around, right? And oftentimes at times when it is not convenient for Diane, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I got my own shit that I'm dealing with. But okay, sure, BoJack. You know,
Same thing happened here. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I love it because BoJack has learned to put up decent boundaries, and he did. And
Yep.
I was so proud of him to actually do a good job with that because, like, the way that he spun the like, hey, you're being mean right now. To okay, yeah, I'll give you 2 more divorce means, and then
but then I'm cutting you off.
I was like, BoJack, that was funny.
Yeah,
but that was also a very mature way to handle the like. No, I empathize with you. I do.
Well,
but also, I'm still not okay with it. You know.
And also being a that in and of itself being a fun deflection off of the actual thing of like, hey, you're trying to use me right now, and I don't like that. And so instead, he goes for the hey, you're being mean, because she was, but that was sort of
it was a deflection.
It was a deflection, but it was a deflection that was helpful, and so like, good job, you know, thinking on your feet and stuff with that. So great. And I also, every time that the notion of that gets brought up and then it isn't done in the same way that like, Mr. Peanut Butter and Diane had marriage troubles and then, you know, they worked through it, even though they ended up getting a divorce eventually. I absolutely adore that because I'm so used to it like being something different, right? Where it's the, yes, and now we have to bait out the, you know, the cheating or the whatever. And no, we don't do that here.
Nope.
Even though that was the thing that BoJack was thinking, and that was also the archetype that, you know, Diane was kind of slotted into at the beginning of the show. We're not doing that.
Not
Great.
doing that.
Great.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Fucking love it. And now we get to go into her head and her heart as she goes through this whole process here. Because Diane's character has been, in a lot of ways, a story very similar to BoJack's in that she needs to come into her full identity. She has had an identity crisis since the beginning of this show. And because of that, she has ended up living through other people. Most of us do this. In fact, most everyone does this to some small extent. I would say everyone does this to some small extent.
Okay.
But it's the element of where, how much of your life are you living through other people? What is the percentage of your life that requires other people in order to be happy? Can you accept yourself in its entirety and who you are and be okay with that? A trip is a great way to figure that out.
Oh yeah.
Especially a solo vacation.
Yes.
Because you can end up going, and you can even end up doing what Diane did a little bit and cosplaying like a traveler,
right?
And then you end up
all
finding
the distractions,
right? And you find a different part of yourself, and that you're like, oh, interesting. Was I actually lying to myself by doing that, or was I just being expressive? Who's to say? But in other ways, you still made that decision. So there's a lot that can be found there. I like that it ended up being the Krush, top 10 reasons to visit Thailand was just her kind of giving herself a therapeutic bit of journaling. Awesome. Yeah. In some ways, it was so vulnerable that probably a lot of people did get something out of it,
Sure. Oh, yeah. I'm, like, if anything, I was a little bit surprised that we didn't get any kind of, like, other shoe dropping of, like, yes,
the readers,
The readers, as she goes, like, hyper-specific with this stuff about, like, here's why we want to go to Vietnam, And then it's like, oh, wow, this isn't even, you're not even talking about the original, bullet point out of 10.
What would be funny is if they went into that and were like, oh yeah, the readers, they don't read anything but the actual titles of the top 10 reasons. They don't read the actual text. Nobody reads anymore, Diana. Oh my God. Why would people
We just
read?
use this to farm ads, because they'll have
people
to scroll
just
past
click,
them.
The second they click, that retention, cha-ching, cha-ching. I would love that would be the actual reason that was like a cut scene that they couldn't put in because they ran out of runtime or something.
And the way that Diane was trying to put the positive spin on it, man. Oh, it's a workcation, and working from home, and then
leave your
yes,
natural habitat,
home, right?
Change your routine. Are those the same thing? Yeah, my therapist didn't come up with this idea. I came up with this idea.
I've gone on 2 big trips in my life. Each one was a lot for very different reasons. And
you went to 2 opposite ends of the globe, too.
Yeah, Australia and Iceland, and yeah, basically exactly opposite parts of the globe. But like, I highly recommend traveling if you can make it work, you know, because not everybody can, of course, and stuff.
Right.
And to say nothing of like time and everything. So if you find yourself having the opportunity and the time and things like that,
Even if it's just a small trip.
even if
like,
it's just a small
yeah,
trip,
yeah.
go for it. But I will also absolutely rep the going on a trip by yourself. Now, granted, both of the trips that I went on were by myself, just because I don't know. I don't like the idea of like going on long trips with other people where like you might have different ideas of what y'all want to do and stuff. But
Sure.
like having that time where it's just you and your thoughts, and it's like, hey, who am I? What do I want? What
Right.
you know? What am I gonna get out of this? Right? What am I gonna do when I go back? Like that's.
Yeah, you have to leave to go back home.
Yep, and I do love that saying, like, because a lot of the stuff that she was like talking about, it has that negative connotation because of what she's going through, right?
And also because it's a cliche. So
Yes, but
there's a
like,
reason why it's
but like
cliche.
you know, you got to leave to be able to go back home. Like, yes, that the ability to have a feeling of home is absolutely precious, and that's one of the big things that has basically been taken away from her because of the divorce, right? You know, like, oh shit, like it's not just that, yeah, it's a crummy apartment, it's that person that's been with me through thick and thin isn't there anymore.
Right.
What do I do?
What
you
do
know,
I do? Yeah.
like that's, yeah, that is something to like, when I first realized that like, oh, that feeling of home is something that like actively takes a lot of work and effort and stuff in order to cultivate and maintain that.
It does. Yeah.
That was an eye opener of like, oh shit,
Right.
I have absolutely been taking that for granted. Yeah.
Yep.
What am I going to do about that?
It's really tough. Yeah, like figuring out like, oh, okay, if you've been taking for granted the idea of home and then not basically putting energy into it in a way that is going to yield net positive, like you're doing it just to kind of survive and stuff like that, you're kind of not building anything. In fact, you could end up actively tearing it down by your selfishness. Like the idea that I think this is a really it's a relatable thing. Also, just being one that just got married and stuff like that. There's a lot of energy that's put into not just maintaining, but building the environment of a home's like atmosphere, energy, or just space, if that makes sense. And that has to come from somewhere. It doesn't come from nothing. It comes from like concerted, conscious effort. And the cool thing is that because you could have another person in that environment, the hope and desire is that you get that positive feedback when that's done.
Right.
But sometimes you don't get it. And so it's actively important to do this
Proactively.
Despite the response in that regard.
Sure.
And that can be really tough, especially if you're, as a person, trying to figure out who you are. And Diane's struggle is very similar to BoJack's in that regard. In fact, most all the characters have some mirror facet of BoJack, specifically because he's the most, nuanced and multi-faceted of the characters, because he gets the most screen time. But Diane's thing of being selfish, I guess, is more with regards to the idea that she just needs to work on herself. It's a form of self-acceptance, but it's also the fact that she rejects so many aspects of herself so that it comes across as selfish. So when she's spiraling, the things she wants to do are all, I need to please and gratify myself rather than face the individual areas that you have done or neglected to build the area that you're in.
Right.
Yeah. So I like that she's getting therapy. I like that she got this trip. I like that she cut her hair. I like that she's trying new things and stuff. It is a painful thing to watch someone spiral, though, when they really don't have that many people around them. And given that she does have BoJack, he is going to be a friend to her.
Oh yeah,
he did say that.
Yes, and I love that they were able to have that, like, hey, vulnerable conversation about everything, and like that's awesome.
Because he knows what that's like. He knows what that's like.
Yeah.
I also liked the little subtle thing of, this is implied in I believe it was the episode before this, or it might have been this episode, of the I don't tell you everything. And then when they were drunk, he almost told her something that he nearly did that was very
something that
suspect.
he doesn't tell just about anybody, even
Or
though
he
there
hasn't
was.
told anybody.
Well, he did.
Well, he did
say,
tell. Yeah.
Did say it at an anonymous meeting. But
Yeah. But holy shit. Oh,
this was a big one, and now so after the previous episode, there was that part of me that's like, okay, well, first episodes are usually funny. That one was more like heavy,
right?
So this one's gonna be the funny one.
Yeah.
Then we got this. So now I'm like, so do I think that again? Like, and then the third one's gonna be the funny one,
right?
Or was that the point of the bit?
That
in
was
the first episode of the.
This is gonna be the craziest season of television.
This is gonna be completely unlike all the other seasons. You know, like I don't
Get
know.
the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's where we're headed.
I think so too, and it
where
makes
we're
a lot
headed.
of sense because we're setting stuff like that up with all of the different characters, right? Like it's not just BoJack, it's not just Diane. Carolyn has it too. Todd has it. You know,
But
Peanut Butter
who
has
would
it.
actually be next, though? It would be Carolyn, right? Princess Carolyn?
Maybe. I mean, I think
Todd's actually doing great.
Well, okay. I think what they would do. Okay, no, yeah, that's a good point. He had the initial bit, but yeah, now he's full corporate or whatever. But I think we need to
I think we
set
just
up the
double
next
down
one
with
first.
BoJack.
Yes, double down with BoJack, but also set up the next one first because this episode worked so well because we had that cliffhanger of the previous one.
Yes,
right?
that's kind of what it is. It's
and
kind
also,
of a two-parter setup.
and also because we had the cliffhanger of the previous season, right? So, like, you know, this doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? So I definitely think we're going to get more stuff like this. And so it's okay, let's keep an eye out for the signs of that as the show sets back up.
What's your twisted theory based on this episode? Because
What do you mean? Like in what direction or
dark
area?
Because my thing that I noticed in this episode was they did the thing of where Diane tried to take the celebrity and have her basically predict. Kind of,
so you're saying
like,
if that happened in like somehow in the actual show?
Something even
Like
remotely similar.
she has a clone or whatever?
No, like she ends up like doing something violent to Mr. Peanut Butter or something.
No,
she ends up having a freak out.
Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think if anything, it's something where she's gonna follow the BoJack arc. She's got a friend near her in BoJack, and she has other people too. But like, BoJack would kind of do this thing, you know, where he'd be on his journey to get better. He'd get way worse, and then he'd kind of pick back up from that, and then hopefully get past where he was at the start.
Before he dips back down again.
Yeah, before he, you know, and then sort of like repeat that, right? And
yeah.
so I could see that kind of thing happening where she takes that dip, but I think this also might have been that dip, right?
Sure.
So
then she's just out of the story for a little bit.
Or at the very least, then goes into that, you know, friend role with BoJack, because that's where I feel like their friendship could be a really good, like, what's the way to say this? The friendship with BoJack up until now was good, but it wasn't the most important thing in like either of their dynamics. It was the convenience of like, okay, we spent a lot of time together, and so, you know, we end up being friends. But because both of them are in such different places now, I could see that being something where it becomes like the really strong friendship, as opposed to just like, yes, we're friends and we talk to each other occasionally and like to drink together. You know, I could see that happening, and
I could too.
I would love to see it.
I would love to see that too, especially given that we're with every season, but this one feeling like because it's the penultimate season. I feel like you have to kind of jump the shark this season so that you're kind of ready to take things in potentially crazy territory in season 6.
Okay.
Because I'm guessing this was one of those series where they could tell somewhere during this season that they're like, okay, the next one will be the last one.
Maybe.
So if you're going to take things in any kind of crazy direction, you do it now so that the last season you can kind of wrap up everything and tell like your more bold and daring stuff, but that's not actually changing the status quo.
Right. Where I would picture this, and why I think it's very fitting that this one be like one of the craziest is because it's this is the act 2, like in a 3-act structure, like, oh shit, everything goes wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
And then and then we get basically the falling tension for the final one, where we can have things be more relaxed because it went so crazy in this one.
Oh no.
And it's the on the season 6 is where everything kind of gets sorted.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I don't think we're gonna have anything close to falling tension in season 6. If anything, it'll just be the last kind of way they kind of fulfill the choices that characters have made that led them to season 6.
Okay.
Because I feel like with this show giving us 12 episodes a season, like that's a good amount of time we can take the characters places. But
while keeping it very trim and everything.
Right. I don't think you can do the episode 11 then episode 12 thing for the final season. So this one will probably be the worst.
Exactly.
The worst episode 11, the worst episode 12.
Yeah, and I think the episode 11 that we get for the final season is going to be, by comparison, very small, because it's sort of the...
Probably going to be more intimate, yeah.
Yeah, maybe more intimate, or just the worst point of that specific stuff that they're dealing with then. But it's not the big character arc stuff necessarily. It's this is that final battle, nail in the coffin. Okay, it's done.
Right. But because Diane essentially came full circle on the actual decisions of her character that she made in season 1, she's kind of done, or she's going to be reborn as a character.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the rebirth.
So that's why I'm wondering, what are your crazy dark theories, ways in which she's not reborn, like she is actually done as a character. She
I
does
could
something
see her
really self-destructive, really spiraling.
She could get really self-destructive. One of the things that I could also see happening is that so if we get into a situation where BoJack is the healthy one and Diane isn't, I could see that being hard.
Right, because it's then this is not then Sarah Lynn. This is,
right.
This is a peer,
Yeah, and
younger, but still a peer.
Right, but the fact that Diane has spent so much time with BoJack, they definitely encourage each other's worst sides when they get into
sure,
spending
the drinking binges,
the drinking binges and things like that. And that every once in a while, right? Okay, sure. But it's the things like we got earlier in the show where it's and then she spent a month at your house without, telling Mr. Peanut Butter and things like that. So I think we could get something along those lines, but I want to say that was dealt with in this episode, and that if anything similar to that does happen, it will be the emotions coming up and being dealt with out here, rather than being internalized and then causing things to happen.
Okay.
But I am clinically optimistic with this show. I feel like, so
seems like a denial of reality
maybe
to me.
Yeah. I also took the bit at the end of the previous season is no, I'm actually optimistic for Peanut Butter and Diane's relationship, but I could still see them getting back together. I could still see that happen.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Why?
I don't think it will happen.
One word. Why?
Perspective. Because they weren't allowed to have perspective in their relationship because they were constantly avoiding the issues.
They were totally allowed to. They chose not to.
Sure. Okay, sure. But they didn't have it while they were in their relationship. So then as a result of getting the divorce, that could be what then causes them to have perspective. Right now, Diane is forced to have this perspective, right? Because now it's we're not together anymore.
Okay.
I don't think that's likely.
I don't think Mr. Peanut Butter... See, I think we've avoided talking about a thing that needs to be talked about here. I don't think Mr. Peanut Butter has any attraction to her whatsoever. I think once he got divorced from her, he realized actually that, I did not like her energy. Also, 2, he's already gone through a divorce before.
That's true.
This was probably not that big of a deal to him. In fact,
yeah,
hasn't he been through 2 divorces?
Yes.
So this is his 3rd?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This to him probably was a 3-day to 7-day, I would say, frustrating, stressful
I would
thing.
say the way in which it's harder is because it was a good divorce, all things considered, right?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
And then that's like that makes it harder, but that also makes it easier.
Oh, it makes it way
right?
easier,
You know, he
yeah.
doesn't have to deal with like some Ron Swanson style,
hunting my
ex
cock
from
down,
hell.
you know,
yeah,
kind of.
right, exactly. So, but man.
Yeah.
Delightful episode.
Wonderful episode. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.